Governor Greg Abbott has laid out expectations for Texas in Thursday's State of the State address. Where does he begin? Joining us to talk more about this is Dr. Brian Smith, political professor at St. Edward's University. Good morning, Dr. Smith. So good to have you in studio.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us early this morning. Governor Abbott laid out what he called 7 priorities last night in his State of the Speech. Bail policies, the economy, public safety, ending COVID restrictions, the fentanyl crisis, property taxes, and school choice.
Right.
Among those, what is probably the one that is going to get the most headlines or the biggest one to focus on?
In terms of what's going to get done, it's going to be the tax reform and tax relief. That's a done deal. School choice is going to be the one that's going to be the most interesting because that's going to be a fundamental shift away from how we fund schools. So it's not just changing a little bit on the edges like we've done before, but this would be a fundamental alteration of how schools are funded in Texas.
And you also said that it is something that Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has laid out as one of his priorities. Therefore, if the governor and the lieutenant governor are on the same page, it really might.
Right.
There's more likelihood of it getting done.
Right. When we look at the priorities, here's a case where Lieutenant Governor Patrick, Governor Abbott, their priorities align, and because of that, it's going to get movement, definitely in the Senate, probably get a lot of movement in the House. So something's going to come out of it. We don't know exactly what, and the details are still a little sketchy. There's a lot of different plans out there, but both people are really pushing this as top agenda items.
There's the thought that Governor Greg Abbott is an emerging national political figure. He mentioned Joe Biden maybe twice. He did say Joe Biden's border policies are to blame for some of the crime, but really it wasn't what some people thought would be an attack.
Right. I thought there was going to be more going after Joe Biden. It's easy if you're a Republican to go after a Democratic president, but he only went after Biden on the issues that Biden really does have responsibility over, and that was the border and immigration. And those have been winners for Greg Abbott in the past, and that's why he brought them up last night. And if he decides to run for future office, that's going to be one of his key platforms.
The governor did bring up the 2021 power grid collapse. He didn't specifically bring up Uvalde, but he brought up school safety. Was it necessary for him to do that?
It's necessary for him to talk about school safety, but this is an issue that means something different for every person under the dome right now. And that's why when we think about what kinds of policies we're going to get, the Democrats and Republicans don't have a lot of overlap on their views of school safety. So meaningful gun reform is what the Democrats want. They're not going to get it. The Republicans will get some school safety initiatives, but it's not going to meet what the Democrats want.
We're talking a lot about the state of Texas. Obviously, it's the state of the state address and what will happen in our legislative session, the laws that will be made. But going back to the national attention being paid, some pundits thinking it could be a bounce for him. Perhaps he'll run for president. Is it too early to start talking about those things?
It's never too early to start talking about it, but if he's going to go in for president, he's got to go in all the way. And right now, when we look at the polls, Greg Abbott's name is not near the top of any of them. We still look at Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis as the top 2 candidates. So if Abbott's going to do something, he's got to do it big, or he's going to never get any traction whatsoever. Doesn't have that national name recognition that the other candidates have.
So it might not happen.
It might not happen.
Okay, I guess we'll wait and see. Dr. Brian Smith with St. Edward's University. It's always great having you in the studio. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.